PG bloggers.
PG bloggers.
The PG bloggers.
PG bloggers.
The PG bloggers.
PG bloggers.
PG bloggers.
PG bloggers. The PG bloggers, man. The PG GOAT with the PG bloggers. Please don't say the John if you ain't saying it twice. If you don't add the Don, you ain't saying it right.
What's the status of Writers Bloque, man? Because I feel like a lot of shit's changed in the past year. Well, what's the status of Writers Bloque right now?
Writers Bloque's still here.
Yeah.
Right. So Writers Bloque is Writers Bloque, except Oops is no longer with us. Magic is no longer with us. Daylight and Nitty, are no longer with us. Okay. Everybody else is still Danny, Danger, me, Big Cannon, 40, Trez. We all still mobbing. We still here. You know what I'm saying? Okay. In 2017, we have a couple things in the works. We have another team versus team event in the works. I won't tell y'all what league or what team, but we got one of those things in the works that y'all will enjoy. Okay. Much like the starting five against Team Hami or RBE.
Right.
And then we also have some other things rolling out, like some Writers Bloque merchandise and some other things like that. But we still here, man. We quieted down a little bit. We kind of strategizing on rebranding and things like that. Obviously, since some of our key members have left.
Yeah, they kind of voiced their opinions about Writers Bloque after they left.
Yeah, I saw some of them. You know what I'm saying? With they like to troll, right?
Yeah. We all know that.
So I don't know how if everybody took what Daylight was saying seriously. I did see Nitty's interview, where Nitty basically was like he got down with Writers Bloque because he felt like it was going to be more music based,
right?
And that was that was originally the plan, and that that was kind of when we spoke to Nitty about being a part of what we were trying to do. Our movement is and was just as much based around the music as much as it was battle rap. And we definitely lost sight of that. You know what I'm saying? I got, especially in 2015, I got really busy battling every month. Danger was battling a lot. With that many people, was someone who wasn't a battler, to kind of step in and take control of certain things behind the scenes that, as battlers, we were all trying to split the responsibility for and focus on our careers and have career years and, living regular life. We needed someone behind the scenes to kind of help us take control of certain things and do certain things. And I think that's where things kind of got disorganized with everybody. But we're working on that as well. You know what I'm saying? Getting some people behind the scenes to kind of rock with us and help us with some things on the business forefront.
Do you feel like there was too many people with their hands in the pot? There's still a lot of people in Writers Bloque. Do you feel like there's too many?
I think 11 may have been too many. And that's where we were at our biggest point. So I think maybe that was too many. But I mean, right now we're down to 7.
Okay.
I think 7 is fine, man. NWX, I think, has 6. Team Hami's got 40 million.
NWX has 7, actually.
You know what I'm saying? I don't necessarily think that even 11 was not doable. It just was done wrong. You know what I mean? We just didn't do it right. But 7 is definitely easier to move with, easier to control how things work. So yeah, we definitely just figuring out some rebranding things and how we can kind of recapture the initial excitement we had when we first kind of started, and we definitely coming back with a vengeance in 2017, man.
Okay. I want to ask you some end of the year questions here.
Sure.
Who do you feel is your battler of the year this year?
Cortez.
Why Cortez?
Toughest resume. That's toughest resume, and then also just the amount of work he's put in overall, including let's take a look. He battled Sharon, Blackout. Mm-hmm. He battled me, Born Legacy. He battled Averb and Ill with Math on Double Impact. He battled Drugs. He battled Franchise. he battled Big K, he battled QP, he battled Arsenal, he battled B Magic, he battled B Dot, he battled DNA and K Shine with Math on bullpen.
Right.
Like he literally, I counted on Twitter the other day, he did 14 battles this year. 2 2-on-2s. Wow. And then on his solo resume, his top 5 biggest names are Arsenal, Big K, Sharon, Chilla, B Dot. Yeah, nobody else can match that. Everybody else, the Source has had a great year. Nitty especially has had a fantastic year.
A lot of people have argued Nitty.
I think people argue Nitty just because of the impact he's made on URL.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm not mad at that. URL to most people is the NBA, the shit. Mm-hmm. So I'm not mad at that. Nitty had the battle of the year with Av. He had probably a top 10 battle with Ill Will. He beat Clips clearly, and then headlined Gnome by the end of the year versus Tay Rock. I'm not mad at anybody who has Nitty. I'm just looking at Tez. I'm looking at his workload. I'm looking at his resume. I'm looking at the fact he's done solo battles and 2-on-2s. The amount of work put in, and then also the caliber of names on his resume. It's hard for me to argue that Tez is not Battle of the Year.
And quality of the battles too. Like a lot of them have been pretty good battles, back and forth as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. Tez and Sharon was a good back and forth. Tez and Big K was a little bit weird, but it's definitely. I think most people have Tez winning.
Yeah.
I think though, the one bad spot on Tez is, Tez. I think ours beat Tez pretty clearly. In Canada, but I think outside of that, considering he's done 14 battles, I think he can afford a loss to one of the most experienced and biggest battle rappers of all time. Like he can afford that in a year where he does 14 battles. You know what I mean? But the fact that he has, in most people's eyes, a clear win over Big K, a win over Sharon. A lot of people have him beating me. He beat QP pretty clearly to me. He had a really, really good year, like a really good year this year.
So yeah, I feel like maybe it's mostly the fans that feel like battle rap's lost some steam this year. Maybe it's because of the transition of a lot of the new guys coming in, and I feel like a lot of new guys have kind of made their stamp in the game, like Twerk. Chess is kind of showing that he could be top tier. But what do you feel needs to change in battle rap in 2017, or where it needs to get back to, rising again?
I just think it needs to become more interesting, man, and I think 2 things need to happen. One, I think there needs to be more of an allegiance between leagues, like certain things. For instance, I would love to see, like, we're gonna see a bullpen versus a Queen of the Ring card probably in 2017.
Yes, we will.
Which is fire. I would love to see a URL versus King of the Dot card.
A lot of people want to see that.
I would love it. Who URL people would buy tickets to it. King of the Dot people would buy tickets to it. You could do it. You could even do 2 events. You could do one in Canada and you could do one in Canada, say in the beginning of the year, and then one in New York at the end of the year. Right. Like you could literally, you know what I'm saying? Like you can make it a 2-day card and have the PG people go against the GZ people. Like there's so much you can do with that idea. There's so much money to be made. But above all, it keeps things interesting. One thing I like about King of the Dot is like Blackout is an event they do every year that keeps things interesting. You don't know the matchups until the day of the battle. It's interesting. Ganning versus Gully makes things interesting. Double Impact made things interesting. So I think themed events has to become more of a focus in 2017. Definitely. Whether it's rookies versus vets again, or rookies versus sophomores, or however you want to do it. If the bigger leagues do more themed events, I think that keeps things interesting for the fans. And then also, man, I'm going to go ahead and blame a lot of the battlers for bullshitting.
You want to throw any shots out?
I mean, there's too many to throw out. Honestly, I could mention damn near anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, but there's a difference between battlers trying and not doing well, and I don't fault people for that. I always try, 100% in all of my battles. Sometimes I do really well, sometimes I don't. But I give it my all.
100%.
I come with 3 rounds. I do the best that I can on any given night. And then there are some people who show up to battles with 2 rounds or are clearly not prepared with their material. Whether or not they get smoked, like people spend their money on you. People spend their money on the pay-per-views. People sometimes probably literally choose between, man, I could use this $75 to go see URL, or I could pay my phone bill. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people make sacrifices to try and see certain people live or see certain people on pay-per-view. So when they show up and niggas choke in their round and you know what I'm saying, are clearly unprepared, it's disrespectful to the fans. You know what I'm saying? And as critical as a lot of battlers are toward fans and bloggers, man, like, y'all make the world move. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's there's no debate in that. Y'all make the world move, whether that's good or bad. It's just facts of the matter. Fans, bloggers, supporters, anybody who spends their money and invests their money into battle rap makes the world move. As a battle rapper and as battle rappers and even as league owners, we all got to do our part to make sure y'all are satisfied, man, and we got to listen to y'all. So I think a lot of battlers and a lot of leagues get in trouble when we don't listen to y'all and we don't listen to what y'all want, because it's not just an opinion y'all are giving us. Y'all invest y'all money and y'all time and y'all energy into this thing we call battle rap, just like we do. So y'all are just as important. So to answer your question, deemed events got to be big, and 2, we got to show more love to the fans and the bloggers, man. We got to listen to y'all and what y'all want to see. And we got to take heed to it, man. And I think the culture will continue to grow if those things happen.
Would you put blame on some of the leagues too? Because the same battlers you're talking about are the same battlers that keep getting booked and booked and booked.
Oh yeah.
And then just because
man,
they can sell tickets, but then the quality when it gets put out on YouTube is subpar. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Leagues are a big part of it as well. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, if, you know, for instance, like, I'm not in very many like Facebook groups that are battle rap related. Like, I'm in like New Files, and I'm in like NHB, but I'm not in the Angry Fan group. I'm not in the Unbiased group. But I know how those groups work. In those groups, certain battlers get dragged all day. Certain battlers are not very liked. You know what I'm saying? Like I know people either hate or love Clips, they either hate or love Verb, they either hate or love Surf. But if you have a ton of people on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram telling you they don't want to see a particular battler, but you're continuing to book them on these cards, you're doing a disservice to your supporters and your fans. But the reason they do it is because the fans still buy tickets. You know what I mean? So it's tough because the league looks at it from a standpoint of, okay, I hear that a lot of you guys don't want to see so and so on this card, but we sold out, and we sell out every time with so and so on the card. So I think the leagues aren't going to make a change until the fans really make a stand. Like, if you guys all stand up and say, look, we don't want to see Chilla Jones on any cards right now. Like, he needs to take a break. He's battling too much. We don't want to see him on any cards. And then a battle event, you know, URL drops a card with me on it and nobody buys tickets, they'll get the picture. You know what I'm saying? But the problem sometimes is there's so many fans that even if 70% of fans don't want to see a particular battler, sometimes that 30% is enough to sell out that event. So it's tough. It's really tough on both sides. But in general, I think leagues need better PR. They need more involvement on social media, and they just need to listen to the fans more everywhere. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. They just need to listen to the fans more in terms of what they want, and they need to deliver.